So Father's Day,
Yes.
we had Dakota Bullock as the service leader and
Yes.
his husband Bryan Shepard
Yes.
as the message deliverer, and it was phenomenal. I loved all of it and want to see more of them. And just wondered if we could talk about the message and the service and any of your reflections.
Well, Brian and I had met in Dakota. We forced ourselves to go to Owen Valley Winery and have wine flights and eat food there. Uh, and so he wanted to talk about the Father within and to talk about the concept that just like we always say on Mother's Day, moms did the best they could. And some of it was great and some of it wasn't. And so there's people that have mother wounds and or your mother deserted you or you're not talking right. So all those things, but they also have that conversation with. And so what I loved about it was that he was able to say his father, there were areas where he felt his father could have been better, but this is what he took from him. And I thought, that's a real mature step,
Yeah.
right? Because you want to just throw out the baby with the bathwater. You say, well, I wish this had been different. He taught me this, and I'm still carrying this. His father's passed away, and he's still carrying that. Then to be able to honor his father-in-law as a family man, as being there. And then, of course, to bring up Mr. Rogers. And again, is that example of healthy masculinity, right? Someone who could be soft, but also firm. What a lot of people don't know is Mr. Rogers was a troublemaker. They had this whole thing about when they were wanting to integrate the pools and he wanted to do something about it. And they were like, don't do that. Our sponsors aren't going to like that. So he has whatever his friend, Mr. Policeman, not the puppets, but a human policeman came and it was a hot day.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Rogers put water in the pool and he put his feet in the pool. And then he had this man who was a police officer who was black. Put his feet in the pool, right? We're going to integrate the pool, right? Black and white together in the pool. Very powerful. Sent a very loud message right there through PBS, right? That first of all, the network wasn't going to tell him, and he was going to show that this is. I want kids to know. And while your parents are freaking out, like this one little, I saw it on TikTok. This young white man said, "You're talking about us as kids being immature." He's like, "You guys couldn't drink out of the fountain with a black person." Right? Like, what? How crazy is that? But you think the stuff we're doing is crazy. So again, this man breaking the rules, setting the standard, that's, again, something soft and approachable, but holding the line. I will not stand for this. And so that was very beautiful. And so to have Bryan really talk about that and how do we go within and honor our father. My dad wasn't a part of my life. He had another family, and that's where his attention went. And, stuff happened between him and my mom before I even got here. So, they broke up, with his family. Okay, that's fine. Right? Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Right? But, people make choices. And so I can honor him today. He's on my ancestor altar. But, my father was my Uncle Junie. And that's where I learned about love and softness. And sometimes you got to be smart. One time my mom and my aunt were just ganging up on me about something. I don't know if I said I didn't want to go to college or I wanted to do this. And they weren't hearing it because they understood as a black woman I needed to get into college and everything. And so I can't even remember what it was about because what happened afterward was more important. So my uncle was in there the whole time that they were having this gang up. So I went outside to do something and all of a sudden here's my uncle. He's like, now, Pumpkin, I didn't want to say anything in front of your mom and Aunt Patty, but you do what you want. That's right, sneak outside, but again, right? So that he had, so in that moment, I said, well, you should have stood up to them right then and said something. No, he came to me. I was the only person that really needed to hear it.
Right.
And so I honor that. He had a stroke and a heart attack on the same day because that's how he was, of course. And so he lived 10 years past that. You're never going to walk again. He got back to driving and everything. And when Lily was born, and 3 months later he died. And my aunt said, well, how come you don't want to hold the baby? Referring to Lily. And he said, my hands are numb, Patty. I'm afraid. I don't want to drop her. So he says, do you want to hold the baby? He says, I do. So my aunt placed Lily in his hands, and she stood right in front of him. So if Lily went to rolling off, right? So again, here's a man that at one time would have never admitted he needed help, but to have that capacities, right? So, yeah, so did he have his rough spots? Oh, yes, indeed. like I guess that he was like a manly man. Because first of all, he had Napoleon complex.
Oh,
And see,
no.
I'm using labels. He's a little short man,
Right.
but like somehow he thought in his mind that deodorant was like,
Oh no.
yeah, and also brushing his teeth. So he's told me that the way he learned about brushing his teeth, he was like a welder and he had that mask down.
Oh.
So him and his own breath. So that's what cured him of that.
Oh.
Right. So in all his foibles, this was the man that told me, do what you want to do. And yes, I don't want to drop the baby, but I want to hold her. Right. So that we again labels. You're a strong man. Well, can strong man be weak sometime? Can strong man, you're a decisive leader. But can sometimes can a decisive leader not know what's going on? Again, can our labels be flexible?
Yeah.
That whole thing. So yes, so that Father's Day message of where has the Father in our life been able to help us, right? And where they needed help or weren't available to us in the way that we wanted them to be, right? Because that's what it is, in the way that we wanted them to be. Can we learn from that and make sure that then are we being there for people in that way? So it was a very beautiful message. His slides were gorgeous.
Yes, I don't know who made those, but they're amazing.
I think he did.
The whole presentation.
I know. I was like jealous much.
Awesome. And I sadly was at home watching
Yes,
from
sir.
home, which is great to watch, the service at home.
Indeed.
And it was beautiful. I'm just so grateful for the honesty, that this is complicated. It's not like,
Yes.
let's just love the
Yes.
Father. It's like, well.
Indeed.
And he addressed that. But talking about the Father within and how we can father and mother ourselves.
Yes,
And what
yes.
does that look like? That planting the seed of encouragement and steadfast and safe and space to grow. And I was like, yeah, that's my dad. I definitely have gotten that from my father and been so fortunate. But also, how do we find that for ourselves and plant that in other people? It was just a beautiful invitation. That was
Yes,
so
it
well
was
done.
I'm so proud of him.